This is July 2014, July 6th to be exact. This is my new mini Halfwood press, which I have finished on the wood with a stain and polyurethane varnish. It is currently just disassembled. I'm getting ready to assemble it using the videos from YouTube and Bill Ritchie's Emeralda Press. And this is the mini Halfwood instructions. Currently I have it supported on my tackage press. And it's currently disassembled. The parts are just standing up free, and I'm getting ready to put the cover or top on, which I'm letting dry for a few more hours. All the parts are here, and let's see how it goes. Here is the hood being attached to the press mechanism with the Allen wrench screws slightly inserted on each side. What I'm doing is following the directions, which I set up on my video here, downloaded from YouTube and put on my little tablet. I have a passive and an active side. This will be the active side. This will be the passive side, and I can tell that because there is the drive shaft where the wheel will attach on the active side. Here I'm using the 5/64 Allen wrench to drive the screws in until about 1/8 of an inch is left out, just as are the instructions. This is the 5/64 Allen wrench, and it fits into the hooding mechanism and drives in these screws that have an Allen wrench socket at one end and are flat on the other. As per the instructions in the video, the screw has been inserted so there's about 1/4 inch extending beyond. Pardon me, 1/8 of an inch, not 1/4 inch, 1/8 of an inch of the screw extending on each screw outside of the area. Wow, this is a real tough video to get, but it's really 1/8 of an inch. I'm going to put on the aluminum cap screws at this time, which I have here, and they will be placed on here and screwed in finger tight first, and then I will use my special tool as per the instructions to finish putting them in. I was briefly panicking because the cap screw that they provided didn't fit. The large cap screw, I didn't realize they had different sizes. The large cap screw doesn't fit in the hole, but it turns out that there's 2 sizes of cap screws. And if you look carefully, you can see that there's a large and a small. This would be the small. And the small fit perfectly here on the ends, but the large do not. See, the small actually fit into the little hole there. And so that is a little trick here that I have to be careful with so I don't mess up these screws, which are aluminum and could be easily stripped. So I'll be putting them in using this special tool that was provided. It is a special kind of Phillips kind of end here for the cap screw. So there are my 4 cap screws, finger tight and slightly tightened without too much tension so I don't strip the screw onto this. There is ever so slightly a gap right here which worries me. I may have to take this back out. We'll see. But because I'm not supposed to have a gap, and as you can see there's a slight gap right there. We'll see. No gap on anywhere else. Alright, I've eliminated the space there, or pretty much without stripping the screw. That's about as tight as I can get it. It's supposed to be 6 1/16 of an inch top and bottom. Now, what is top and bottom? This is actually 6 3/16 at the top and 6 3/16 at the bottom. It's the same. Of course, down here it's 6 what is that? 6 across. So that's an interesting issue. We'll find out if it's important. I checked, and the platen bed does seem to fit in there. It does seem to fit. So when the time came to assemble the active side, I found out that one of the screw locations was a little bit tight. This one here. The screw wouldn't quite fit on it. This worried me because I don't want to strip those set screws. So I suspected that maybe when I stained this, a little bit of droplet of stain might have gotten on the inside. So I took a small file and enlarged that hole, just the hole, along one side where it was catching very slightly. Now, this is the active side. It's going to go on, and I'm going to be putting the set screws in here. Well, the cap nut does fit now, where I slightly enlarged the hole along this side, or maybe removed the little bit of stain that was in the way. I can probably hear Bill Ritchie screaming from Seattle to me right now going, "No!" But oh well. They do seem to be able to screw on. I'll finish screwing them on. Okay, I'm attaching the 2 sides here, and the passive side slides through, but the active side screws into the wood. There's a thread in the wood here. Now here's the problem we have, and this really worries me. You can see that this, where the screw enters, the hole is not big enough at this end. So now I have a real problem. I'm going to enlarge this hole. I'm going to take this apart again, but I can't damage the screws on the interior. I am going to work with a file very carefully to remove some of this side right here. So I'm going to enlarge this little side here just enough so that the barrel cap can slip on there without going in with this file far enough to damage the actual screw mechanism inside. Well, I have adjusted the various things. For example, I've adjusted these tie rod nuts, or jam nuts as they're called, using the little tool. I've measured, and the bed will fit because this is 6 inches across precisely. So that adjustment that I did over here on the passive side is okay. As a matter of fact, if I was to slip this bed in here, I've raised up the press. It actually slides in and out very neatly. Okay, I have put together my Halfwood mini press, or mini Halfwood, and I've attached the wheel using a set screw which was already there in the wheel. There it is. That was tightened with an Allen wrench to a flat portion of the little driving mechanism that was sticking out. There was one flat side, and I tightened that there. I didn't video that particular thing, but you notice that it is turning the mechanism here, the gear, for the rack and pinion. Here is the rack, and it does fit very nicely. I have it just precisely fits, and then if I was to turn this wheel, my platen bed will move back and forth freely with very little room in between. The bed itself is very slightly bowed like this, but that's not an issue. I can see that if I ever need to, I could replace, using the rack, I could replace it with other Lexan if I needed to. What I'm going to do is remove this and put on a grid. Well, let's try it out. Everything is working, and I just inked up a plate. Let's see how this first plate looks. First print off this. I hope it works out. Well, what do you know? It actually did it. Nice.